Hey Regicide, I told you that I would tell you about Thanksgiving. Um, I'd originally planned to tell you the story of the first Thanksgiving in this video, but I realized that that's probably something better for next year, because next year will be the 400th anniversary of the first Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is kind of a harvest celebration, kind of a listing of the things that you are thankful for. I want to tell you about what Thanksgivings were like when I was growing up. Um, my mom loved Thanksgiving. She loved feeding people. She loved parties. So my mom would be your great grandmother. Um, your father Paul knew her, um, but she died just over 20 years ago. Anyway, whenever she would have Thanksgiving meals, they were big affairs. Um, we often had two turkeys and a ham and other stuff. There are times I remember 50 people being over at the house because my mom would invite friends, she would invite relatives, she would invite people to invite people, and sometimes my sister's friends would show up. So it was this giant feast. Um, it started out, we would go to church in the morning while turkeys were baking in a roaster in the oven, and sometimes neighbors were baking as well. Huge plates of green beans, mashed potatoes. My mom's mashed potatoes are like the best in the world. You anyone can fight me on this and they'll be wrong, but my mom made great mashed potatoes. I mean, everyone was like, "Oh, this is so good," and it was whipping cream and sour cream and a whole bunch of butter. But there would be mountains of mashed potatoes. I mean, 3 or 4 big serving bowls full of mashed potatoes and stuffing. Stuffing inside the bird, stuffing baked alone, casserole dishes, uh, yeah, cookie, not cake pans full of stuffing, carrots, um, and then people would bring things. My mom would be like, "You don't have to bring anything, or just bring a dessert." And I mean, miles of dessert and snacks. And so we would go to church in the morning, 9 o'clock, come home about 11. People would start showing up at 2 or 3, and then it would go until 8, 9 o'clock at night, where people would just come in and sit and eat and talk and sit and eat and talk and sit and eat and talk, and then they would go off and more people would come. And so there was this whole rotation of people who would go through the house and come by and wish happy Thanksgiving. This year is a different year, and there aren't the large gatherings. So, but it's a time to give thanks, to be grateful for the things that we have. Uh, you may not have much, you may not seem like you have much, but there's always someone who has less. So be thankful for what you have and share what you have with those who have less. And it's be grateful for what you have. Give thanks. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His mercy endureth forever. um, yeah, your parents probably aren't going to be happy when they hear that one, but that's between you and Pop, right? Anyway, Thanksgiving is a wonderful celebration of giving thanks. It's more than just watching the Macy's parade on TV and Santa Claus coming to Macy's. It's more than the floats. It's more than watching football. It's it's a time to be grateful for what you have and to celebrate what you have. Anyway, Regicide, I know this is a short video, not much to say in it, but another one's coming, and I'm not sure what that's going to be.